dating at this time can be so much fun because you're gonna meet a lot of new girls. You're gonna have a lot of options. Heck, you might even meet a girl that could be your potential girlfriend. However, sometimes you might see one red flag, two red flags, or even three red flags on a date with a new girl, and you wonder, how do I navigate through this? Hey guys, this is GWAT here. Today we're gonna go over 5 red flags you need to be aware of on a first date. Now, when I say aware, I'm not talking about, oh, you should look for this red flag or look for that red flag, but be aware of any red flags that could come up on a first date, depending on what she says and what she does, because it could determine if you planning on going on a second date with this girl or you just cut your losses and move on to the next one. Let's hop into it. Number 1, she is on her phone consistently. Now, this is a red flag because if she's on her phone a lot, number 1, she doesn't respect your time. Number 2, she has better things to worry about than getting to know you on a first date. And number 3, she probably doesn't care about you whatsoever. Now, there are ways to go about this. You could tell the girl, hey, look, I could understand that you probably have something going on right now, but I would appreciate it if you just put your phone away because I want to get to know you and I don't want to waste your time nor I want to waste my time. You say that, you set that boundary. Now, this can go one or two ways. One way it can go, she will overreact and say, oh, why are you being so like toxic, or why are you being so possessive and so controlling? Like some outrageous claim that she could make. Now, if she makes a reaction like that, then you'd say, all right, I guess this is where we end the date, because you don't want to deal with a girl like that, because if she overreacts to something very small, she could overreact to anything. Now, the second way it could go, she would say, oh, I'm so sorry, that won't happen again. She'll put the phone away in her purse or her pocket. Now, that just is such a great way to go about it, because if you say it in such a calm way, it's gonna say more about yourself to the girl, and that just goes to shows to the girl that, hey, this guy means business, this guy means well, he has sincere intentions, and on top of that, that's just gonna show you like you don't want to deal with no type of BS, and you want to just set the ground of how the first date should go. Number 2, she's rude to the staff. When I say rude to the staff, I'm talking about if the date's at a restaurant, at a bar, or at a coffee shop, wherever. That says a lot about her, because if she's rude to them, she's probably rude to you or give you some nasty attitude to you, your friends, or your family if it goes further down that line. That says a lot about their character, because if they're rude to people like that, they're just have a nasty personality overall, and you really don't want that in a girl. It will lead to so much conflict down the line, and you want to meet a girl who's respectful to you, to your friends or family, or to like the peers of a social gathering, or like, you know, the workers at a bar, restaurant, coffee shop. You want a girl like that, and if she's rude, you don't want to deal with that, because like I said, that's going to cause so much conflict down the line. Number 3, she's late on a first date. Traffic happens, accidents happen, that's out of our control. What you can control is when you leave to go to the location of the first date. I say that because if a girl is late on the first date, well, it could say like, you know, she got caught in traffic or some accident happened on the way to her first date. Now, you could give her a first warning depending on the situation. Now, if she is late to the second or third date, that is a habit, and you need to set that boundary saying, hey, look, I can understand sometimes, like, you know, stuff happens, but I would appreciate it if you show up on time for the date, because I'm taking time out of my schedule to make time for you and to get to know you. And if you're not showing that same line of respect, then I don't think this is gonna really work out. You have to set that boundary, because if she's gonna be late on the first date, she could be late for other things down the line if things do get serious. And that just shows as a habit. If she's late on a first date, she's probably is a person that is late to like their job, to an important appointment, family gathering, etc. That's something you need to look out for. And you can't tolerate that, because if she's not respecting your time and effort on to making a date happen, she's not gonna respect you at all. Number 4, she tells you way too much personal information on the first date. A perfect example is a while back, I went on a date with this new girl, and she was cool and all, but she mentions that she had a DUI or DWI and got arrested for it. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know any of that stuff on a first date, because now that tells me you're reckless, you're careless, and you're irresponsible. On a first date, you want to get to know a girl, like, you want to ask her questions like, oh, what brings you to the city? Or what things do you like to do for fun when you're not working? Or if you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and why? Stuff like that, like simple questions, get to know them. Nothing too deep, nothing too personal. A first date is supposed to be getting to know a girl on a first basis, on a first impression basis. And if things go great, awesome, go on a second date with them. If things don't go well, well, cut your losses and life goes on. If a girl tells you any type of personal stuff, like the example I mentioned, or whatever, then cut your losses and move on to the next girl. And number 5, this is probably the biggest red flag you need to be aware of when you're on a date with a new girl, is if she constantly talks about her ex-boyfriend. It's pretty simple. On a first date, it's supposed to be guy talks to girl, getting to know each other. It's not supposed to go down, guy talks to girl and she talks about her ex. That's not how it's supposed to go down, because if she constantly talks about her ex-boyfriend, clearly she's not over him. This is such a simple red flag to look out for, but this is probably the most critical one, because if she constantly talks about her ex-boyfriend and then you decide like, okay, maybe this girl is awesome, this girl is great, she's fantastic, she's gorgeous. You keep going out with her and she keeps constantly talking about her ex-boyfriend, what makes you think she's not gonna do something behind your back? No, if she talks about her ex-boyfriend that, or 1 or 2 times or 3, depending on what she says, that is where you cut her off and move on to the next girl. Okay guys, that was 5 red flags to be aware of on a first date. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, subscribe to the channel, share the video, like the video as well, and comment down below. I would love to hear you guys out. And I can promise you that if you follow these tips, your dating life will be so much more simpler and a lot more fun. Until next time, guys, this is Guy with the Tan.